Welcome to Philly View. I'm Jada Walker. Some believe low voter turnout among young people like myself is a sign that we don't care about politics, but that's a misconception. Like anyone else, we are very concerned about the direction of our country. There are young people who keep up to date with political matters but may be unwilling to vote. Why is that? We get some insight from Damien Fisher, a director from Citizens Action for Free and Fair Election, CAFFE. Thanks, Damien, for agreeing to speak with me. Let's jump right in. What is CAFFE and what's its role?
All right, so for short, CAFFE stands for Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections. And our role is to encourage free and fair elections. We do so by having public education in the principles of democracy. And we actually deploy persons to monitor elections across the island.
Studies have been done about why young people 18 to 24 years do not want to vote. One reason is lack of trust in political representatives.
There's no distrust of the political process itself. The process has been generally efficient. There is increasingly evidence of low voter turnout. It's a lack of interest rather than distrust. Lack of interest in what political reps are saying, promises not kept, and promises that are not relevant to youngsters. Lack of trust due to rumors of irregularity and corruption.
A general election is a secret ballot, but there is still a lack of trust of the electoral process. Why do you think that's so?
There is no distrust in the electoral process itself. The process has been generally efficient. We have a we have oversight of the elections itself. Groups like CAFFE and other electoral observation groups, both locally and internationally, have certified that our elections are generally fair. There is an issue with voter turnout. The lack of interest, there's a lack of interest rather than distrust, as I previously mentioned. And it has to do with the message and the delivery of that message. Over the years, the political parties have moved towards a series of social media ads, and that will eventually increase participation among youths because they are now able to reach that demographic in the way that it's being used by the young person.
There is some fear of political victimization. Is this fear warranted?
Um, no, the fear of victimization. Um, the vote itself is secret. In Jamaica, we have laws that ensures that the ballot is secret. You are not allowed to disclose who you have voted for, and the ballot itself cannot be traced back to you. Once a counterfoil has been removed from the ballot, there's no way to trace back that vote to you. In terms of victimization, some of the issues that may come up in discussion is that persons, the successful party in exercising powers of government may pay more attention to the needs of constituents to which they have been victorious, and therefore they may unequally benefit those who have voted for them.
I believe that the election system is unrepresentative. I really don't see many persons under the age of 26 as members of parliament or having prominent political roles.
Well, that is true. You see, the responsibility of being a member of parliament and being part of it requires a demonstration of commitment and capability. And if young persons do not begin from early to show an interest in it and participate in the process, then there is little chance that they will be selected as a representative. The way that they will overcome it is to become more active in the process. as they have the advantage of youth and in some cases advanced education, which will enable them to make a mark in the political arena.
Many people my age feel that voting it won't make a difference. Our voice and views don't count, so why bother?
You see, the voice is consistent, reasoned, and widespread. It cannot be ignored because then it would have political power and influence. So, if young persons like yourself would come together and decide to make your voices be heard, and one such way to make your voices be heard is to exercise your franchise by voting. You understand? You can actually vote. Um, Listen to the candidates that best reason with your concerns and um, ideas, and you make your choices, and you can be heard by visiting the voting center.
Can CAFFE change these views and build trust in our political system?
Well, CAFFE alone can do this. It takes the participation of everyone, to make the change. However, we have been doing what is necessary. We monitor elections and deploy persons across the island to ensure that the process is free and fair. We also have public education activities. We monitor, government activities to ensure that corruption is minimized. By educating the public, in particular young persons, in the elements of democratic process. And we try our best to encourage persons in high schools to be a part of our democracy club, I beg your pardon. And that's how we are playing our role to change, the narrative.
Are there plans to put democracy clubs in universities across the island?
We have plans to expand the democracy club. At this moment, however, our focus is on the high school population. We believe that's the ideal age between 12 upwards to get them involved in the democratic principles. So we are taking it one step at a time, and we are now at the high school level, and we have been launching it across several schools in Jamaica.
What would you say to youth like myself to motivate us to go out and vote?
Apart from all that I've said earlier, and the fact that your voice, your vote is your voice. And without a voice, you won't be heard. Understand? Or possibly you won't be heard. I think that the one thing that I say to you is that make your mark and be counted.
Thank you so very much. My guest on Philly Views was Damien Fisher, a director from CAFFE. If you think about it, our lives are just a series of habits. Some habits may be good and others not so good. Young people can and should develop the habit of voting. By voting, we become active stakeholders in determining the course of the country rather than being armchair spectators, or worse. Key issues in every election increasingly relate to the concerns that affect us as students and young professionals. Participation is like a habit like any other. Starting early can help youths like me form a habit of civic engagement that will help to develop our country's democracy and chart the course for a future that we shape. I'm Jada Walker. This is Philly Views. We all have the power to effect change. Get involved. Vote.